Hey, come see us on tour. We'll be in Chicago, Grand Rapids, Michigan, Duluth, Georgia, right outside of Atlanta, Jacksonville, Florida, Tempe, Arizona, and Burbank, California. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for those tickets. This is from Truth Out. Top Israeli official, quote, morally justified to starve 2 million to death in Gaza. I'm not making that up. I'll show you the video in a second. A top Israeli official suggested on Monday that he believes it is morally justified for Israel to wipe out Gaza's population through famine and starvation. In chilling statements that pro-Palestine advocates say openly indicate genocidal intent. You think? So let's listen. Well, I'll read it to you. So let me turn this down. I turn down my volume because I don't need to hear this guy. I'll read it to you what he says. He says, we are bringing in humanitarian aid. Hang on. I got to start again. He's going fast. We are bringing in humanitarian aid because we have to, he says. It is impossible in today's global reality to manage a war. No one in the world will allow us to starve to death 2 million citizens. Oh, chagrin. 2 million. That sounds very, what's the word I'm looking for? Holocausty. That sounds very Holocausty. Here we go. So they want to, he wants to starve 2 million people. Let's watch. Although it may be just and moral, to kill 2 million people. Okay. So, by the way, those are civilians. He's not talking about combatants. He's talking about women, babies, children, senior citizens, grandparents. That's what he's talking about. As long as they don't return our hostages, humanitarian for humanitarian, he says. That makes it moral. It is morally right, but there's nothing we can do. The world won't let us starve 2 million people. By the way, they pretty much are doing that. We live today in a space where international legitimacy is needed for this war. I don't think they have it. I don't think they've had international legitimacy for this war. So there he is. Isn't that nice? He laments, too bad we can't just kill 2 million people by starving them. Speaking at a conference hosted by the far-right Israel Hayom newspaper, Israel Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich complained about having to allow humanitarian aid into Gaza, saying that international norms are stopping Israel from taking what he claims is the moral path of starving 2 million Palestinians to death. Humanitarian in exchange for I just showed you that. His mention of 2 million civilians appears to be in reference to Gaza's pre-genocide population of roughly 2.2 million people, including 600,000 children. Smotrich's statement represents yet another brazen and horrifying call for the annihilation of Palestinians in Gaza, with Israeli officials repeatedly issuing public calls for mass death and ethnic cleansing over the course of their genocide. The comment is indicative of Israel's intent to commit genocide. Yeah, that's what, Although Israeli officials have insisted in public statements that they are simply hunting down Hamas soldiers, many reports have indicated that Israeli military considers any Palestinian adult or child to be a potential Hamas soldier. This is also evident from the vast civilian death toll of Israelis' indiscriminate extermination campaign so far. Once again, we hear a top Israeli government official saying the quiet part out loud, said the Council on American Islamic Relations. If the Biden administration can't bring themselves to take action to stop the genocide, forced starvation, ethnic cleansing, and mass destruction of civilian infrastructure, they should at least be able to condemn the genocidal statements that Israeli officials have been making since last year. Not going to happen. Smotrich is also in charge of a plan to accelerate the Israeli settlement of the occupied West Bank, and appeared to warn that the West Bank is next in Israel's crosshairs. As Israel has undertaken its genocide in Gaza in the last 10 months, it has also vastly accelerated its colonial violence in the West Bank, killing Palestinians there at the fastest rate in decades. Earlier on Monday, in a post on social media, Smotrich also said that Israel is working to remove the threat of Palestinian statehood through its settlement expansion in the West Bank, saying that he opposes the idea of a Palestinian state outright. So those occupation of and those settlements, those are illegal in the West Bank. Those are all illegal. Okay. Israeli leaders have referred to their genocide in Gaza as a way to mitigate the threat to Israel posed by Palestinians. You know, the threat by guys in hang gliders and Adidas shoes and flip-flops? Yeah, that threat. Stopping the Arab takeover of the open areas, fighting the terrorist financing of the Palestinian Authority and its leaders, and complete Israeli control of the territory, meaning the occupied West Bank. This is the only way, Smotrich said. Max Blumenthal says, hey, if you like the Zionist government minister Bezalel Smotrich's call to exterminate 2 million Palestinians, if you liken the Zionist government minister's call to eliminate 2 million Palestinians to Nazism, Mark Zuckerberg's Meta will censor you for hate speech. Are you kidding me? Well, that's what it says right there. It says, Facebook says it will remove more posts using Zionist as a term some use interchangeably with Jews. France and Germany slam Israel's Smotrich for comments on starving Gazans to death. Hey, who's missing from that headline? France and Germany slam Israel. Oh, the UK is missing, and the United States is missing. The UK and the United States not slamming Israel's Smotrich for comments on starving Gazans to death. Isn't that interesting? Smotrich might be justified and moral to cause 2 million Gazans to die of hunger, but the world won't let us. There it is. Let's see if is that it. Oh, here it is. Meta says it will remove more posts attacking Zionists, a term some use interchangeably with Jews. Isn't that amazing? That's amazing to me. Meta says it will remove more posts attacking Zionists. So you can't attack Zionism on Facebook? I've been calling Zionists Nazis on Twitter since this war started. Which is why nobody in Hollywood will touch me with a 10-foot pole right now. Thank God for Rumble. Seriously. Yeah, so there it is. Mark Zuckerberg is now you can't attack Zionism. They're saying that's anti-Semitic. No, Zionists and being Jewish are two totally different things. Some use interchangeably. Yes, some do. So what? Wow. That's really happening. Hey, come see us on tour. We'll be in Chicago, Grand Rapids, Michigan, Duluth, Georgia, right outside of Atlanta, Jacksonville, Florida, Tempe, Arizona, and Burbank, California. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for those tickets.